All right, so let's move forward to the next phase that will be installing of the Active Directory. So I'm on my laptop now, so I will just type in 192.168.1.99, that is the ESXi. So this ESXi is running inside my server. So let's log into that one now. Now, it's a requirement that before we install the Cisco ISE, we need to have the domain name resolution. And since we are installing in an organization, that means you already have the domain controller installed. So since we are doing the lab, so that's why I'm installing this one now. So I will log in into this one now. And I will go back to the virtual machines and click on register VM. So I will select the first one because I am using the ISO image. So click on next. And I will say that name as WinDC. I will select the ESXi 7 because just selecting the compatibility. I'm selecting Windows, and here I should see Windows Server 2016 64-bit. So click on next. I'm selecting the database data store, that is the VMs, which I created especially for virtual machines. So click on next. And now I will select it's telling me the 4 GB of RAM. So I will say 8192 to 8 GB of RAM. It's asking me 90 GB of hard disk. I think 60 should be more than enough. And I do require only one network adapter, that's okay. And now I do require the ISO image. So I will select the VM. This is where I have uploaded the images, select the Windows Server, select. Now, other thing is that I need to go to VM options, go to the boot option. I have to make that one as a BIOS one. So click on next and click on finish. So since we are using the ISO image, that should be ready within a seconds. And now click on edit. What happens is like whenever we select the ISO image, you see that it is been unchecked. So select this one. So click on save. And after that, click on power on. And after that, take a console into a new tab and it should open a new tab. So it's now booting up. So I will select the language to install. That should be good. But the region I will select as the Australia. So that's where I am. And click on next. Click on install now. Okay. So select the desktop experience. That is a standard evaluation one. So click on next. So if you select only the first one, then it will only give you the CLI options. So click on accept the license, click on next and select the advanced one, and it should give you the hard disk, the 60 GB one. So click on next. And after now it's installing. So I will just resume the video once this installation is been completed. So it is now restarting. So let it restart. So once it's completely rebooted, it should ask you for the password. All right, so once it's rebooted, so it will show you, it will ask you for the password. So just type in the password. So I will type in mois123# with capital M and click on finish. Now you see that you do not have any option to click Control Alt Delete. So if you click Control Alt Delete, so your screen where it will be executed on your laptop, not on this one. So for that once I will click on console and I will click on launch remote console, click on open. So this will open inside my workstation, which is in my laptop. So it will remotely connect it. So now you see that over here, you should see your newly installed Windows machine. And now I can go ahead and click on Control Alt Delete, and it should execute inside that machine. And now if I come back here, and now you see that. So type in the password and log in. And next thing is that we need to install the VMware tools in that one. So right click on this one and go to guest operating system, install VMware tools. So it should be installed. So let's go back. So it will give you a better interface. So it will not keep on stucking. So what happens is, like, whenever you try to move the mouse, sometimes it will keep on stucking up. So installing the VMware tools will resolve all that controlling problems. So the next thing is that I will go to click on yes, I want that one. So click on File Explorer, go to the Windows PC, click on Properties. The next thing is that I want to change the machine name. So I'll click on Change Settings, click on Change, and I will say Windows C and click on OK. So I'm changing, otherwise I have to note down this machine name. So click on OK, OK. And it's asking you to restart now. So say restart later. And the next thing is that I want to change the IP address. So if I go back to my topology, my IP address is 192.168.1.100. So for that one, I will go back to the local server, click on local server. And here you should see Ethernet 0. So click on that one and it should take you directly to that page. So right click on that one, go to properties, and here select the Internet Protocol IPv4, click on properties, use the following IP address. So 192.168.1.100 and 192.168.1.1. The primary will be 192.168.1.100 because this is our organization domain controller, and the secondary will be 192.168.1.1. So this is my router, which is a default gateway, and that is also acting as a DNS server. So secondary will be that one. So if I say that ice.sysable.com, that means it will first look into this domain controller, and after that it will look into the other one. So to resolve your custom domain name, so that's why we are using this one. So click on OK and click on OK. So that's the other thing which we have fixed. And the next thing is that we need to install the VMware tool. So I will go back to this PC and double click on this one, and it should open that wizard now. So click on next, next, and install. So it will take time to install. Until then, I will enable the remote desktop. Click on that one. So just click on this disable and it should open that wizard. So allow the remote connection, click on OK. Uncheck this one, click on apply and OK. So this means we are able to take a remote connection. So these are the pretty much things which we have to fix it before we go ahead and with the installation of the domain controller. And that is the Active Directory and the DNS services. See that it's giving me some problem, that's fine. So click on finish and it's asking you to restart. So click on yes, restart. So let the system restart, and after that we will proceed with the installation of Active Directory and the DNS services. And we will create the group, and within that group we will create 2 users, and we will finish up with the video. All right, so if I refresh this page now, so it should cover up the whole screen now. So this is the best one. So now the other thing is that I will go back to my workstation and click on this, send the commands Control Alt Delete, and type in the password mois123# with capital M. All right, so pretty much we are ready to go ahead and install the services now. So let it boot it completely. So over on the left hand side, you should see the file storage option also. That means the server manager has completely booted. So you see that if you see these options, that means server manager has completely booted. So let's click on add roles and features. So skip this page for next time, click on next, click on next. So we already defined the static IP address, that is 192.168.1.100. So click on next. And after that, I want the first is the Active Directory domain services. Click on add features, the second one. Another thing is that DNS server. So click on that one and click on add features. So click on next, click on next, click on next, next, and install. So let it install. And after that, we are going to promote this Active Directory. All right, so once completed, click on close and click on this flag and you should see an option promote the server to as a domain controller. So now it will ask you to add a domain controller since this is my new one. So I will say add a new forest and I will give it my domain name that will be sysable.com. So click on next. And now it will ask you for the password. So this is for the domain controller password, the password which we assigned that is for the local machine. So to not get confused, I will use the same password here. All right, so enter the password and click on next and just click on next. So it should show up with your domain name here. Sysable, click on next. So don't change anything for the database folder, logs folder, syslog folder, click on next and click on next. So now it will verify the prerequisite. Once the prerequisite has been verified, so it will give you an option to install that one. So once the prerequisites are complete, so click on install now. So it will install the Active Directory and the DNS servers. So once this has been installed, it will again reboot. And after that, we are going to log in into the domain controller, not into the local machine anymore. So I will resume the video once that is been rebooted and restarted. All right, so now my server is totally rebooted. Let's take the remote connection. So I will come back here and I will say that it should be 100. And you see that the username is sysable/administrator. So click on connect. And after that is asking me for the password. I will enter the password and click on OK. Asking if you enter certificate. So click on don't ask me again and click on yes. So now I am able to take the remote connection. So that means my setup is working now. The only thing is that I just need to verify the domain name. That is sysable.com. Try to ping that one. It should be pinging to self. And after that, I will create the group and I will create 2 users in that one. So I will say that Windows plus R and I will say CMD and I will say ping sysable.com and it should ping to itself. You see that it's pinging to itself. Now, once you see that all the server manager has load up, so let's go back to tools now. And after going to the tools, go back to Active Directory users and computer. And I will expand the sysable.com and I will expand the users. So by default, these are the groups and the users by default created. So I want to create my user for the group for these ICE admin. So I will right click on that one and I will say click on new, and I will say click on new group, and this should be ICE admins. ICE admins, I will select the global, click on OK. And after that, I will create two users. That should be, one user will be myself, that will be Moise, and the username will be moise@seesabled.com. And the password never expires, and the password will be moise123 hash and 123 hash. And click on next, and the password, Windows cannot set the password Moise because the password does not meet the password policy. Okay, so it might be because of the username in that one. So I will say capital A, small b, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, capital A, small b, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go next and finish. I'll create one more user that should be Rob, and click on next. Password never expires. And same thing, capital A, small b, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, capital A, small b, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And click on next and finish. And now I will add the, right click on this one, go to properties, and I will go to members, and I will click on add, and I will select Moise first. Okay, and I will select the Rob next. Apply. Okay, so within this group now, ICE admins, Moise and Rob both are added to this group. So now with this one, we complete the phase 2, that is the installation of Active Directory and the DNS name. I hope this was informative for you, and thank you.